Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the 2025 Northeast Women's Disc Golf Disc East Symposium. Woo! This is our third year, and it never gets any easier. But thank you for being here and supporting women's disc golf in our area. We are your board of directors. So my name is Julie Fridella, and I am the co-founder of Northeast Women's Disc Golf. To my right, I have Kim Kissel. To my far left, Chantal Gibson-Bowen, Liz Croto, and Liz Sapar. And we are your board. And Mindy Lee Fontaine and Katie Grace Dudley, who are not with us today. Wow, rough start. Okay, and we also have a group of state reps and officers. So we are located pretty centrally in the center of the Northeast. So we do like to connect with other women from other Northeast and states. So we meet about 4 or 5 times a year virtually to connect and talk about what's going on in their regions and how we can help grow disc golf and support them throughout the year.
So we're going to highlight some things that we feel like we're really proud of from our 2024 season. We, again, for the second consecutive Women's Global Cycle, we had the largest Women's Global event in the world with 100 participants at Maple Hill back in May 2024. So shout out if you were there. And I will say, there was a surprise monsoon. If you were there, you know. If you know, you know. Miserable the first day because we held it this year. Was the first year we did a 2-day tee time. So we had 1 round Saturday, 1 round Sunday. We had this vision for this players party Saturday night with a mini vendor village. We had a DJ, glow golf. We had the party vision, and then the monsoon came, and much of that vision didn't happen, unfortunately. But the one thing I will say, and we were and with the Women's Global, we often compete with this club in Florida to have the most women. And so the week of, we're looking. Was that your club? Yeah.
So, we love you guys and keep bringing it.
Yeah. So we were yes, looking at the numbers and seeing where things are at, and we did not have a single drop despite the monsoon. So
shout out to all those.
I'm hoping and commenting you'll hear today is shout out to our community because none of this would even be a thing if we didn't have the community that we do. So you will hear that a lot. We also, over our 8 Queen of the Northeast events that we had in 2024, we had 223 unique participants, which is amazing. And 420 total participants across all 8 events. Again, we have the best group in the area, and I'll fight you on that. One of the things that for 2024 that was really important to us was to kind of reinvigorate the casual play in the community and really invest in the community building piece. So we rejuvenated our bag tags, which we sold 110 bag tags and started. Yes! Also selling them again for this year, so come to our booth pay and we also started a winter league to keep that connection and community going in between the tournament season. So we are very proud of all those initiatives that we've done. So for our presentation this year, we thought we would take a look at our. You can come in, Dima. You can come in. Come support us. Thank you. Yes, Captain. We thought we would kind of look at our mission statement and really kind of go through what's important for our mission statement and really use that to highlight areas where we feel like we're doing well, areas where we're like, oh, we got to do that a little bit more, and especially when it comes to goal setting for 2025 and beyond. So Our mission statement is to encourage and inspire women of the Northeast to grow their involvement in disc golf through education, empowerment, recognition, and community. So we're going to really focus on the education, empowerment, recognition, and community like headlines for the rest of our presentation. And with education, one of the things that we do, we provide women's disc golf community with opportunities to learn and continue to grow in the sport in a lot of different modalities, and this is an area where we really want to grow in the next year as well. We've done clinics in the past, and we're hoping to do a little bit more this year, whether it's connected with our tournament series or at league meetups. Also having, continuing to have league meetups in the tournament series and using social media, whether it's education around products or reviews. Last year for our Instagram series, I am a clinical social worker, and so I did a Mental Game Monday series that is still on our social media. So every other Monday through the entire year, I posted a little thing to help with your mental game and to, help that can be used on the course or in life. And so wanting to, certainly using that outlet to do more of that in other ways as well.
All right, our next headline is empowerment, and here are a few ways that we could do that through our club. Our first one is, something you might not even think when we think of empowerment, but it's financial. So what we do before our tournaments start is we do fundraising, and that provides monetary support to our new DG events, and we take the fundraising we get and we do added cash to each event. So we kind of bump up those payouts for the women throughout the series, and we also provide money for snack stations and water stations throughout the course. So that's just a fun element to add to the event's presence. Providing in-person support and representation at UDG events, so we always set up a booth there. We're always there for any assistance TDs need, or anyone has questions or wants to buy some sweatshirts, stuff like that. Guidance, we want to create a space that enables women to take on leadership roles and ownership over the growth of the sport. So this year we've really dedicated ourselves to creating a space for our TDs. So every month we have kind of an office hours for our TDs to come and ask questions, anything that they might need from us. We have that time available for them. And support, acting as coordinators to provide direction and advice, as well as pointing to available resources. So we try to be kind of subject matter experts on anything people might have questions for us for, some PGA rules, stuff like that. So that's how we're trying to empower you. Another way we provide support to the community is we recognize everyone. We try. So we try to highlight players by publicly recognize them and just really admiring when somebody does well or makes an improvement. That could be recognition on social media or in person or a message. It's just making people feel loved and supported within the community. Also, our sponsors are what make us successful in supporting women in the area. The financial aspect is just huge, and it really allows us to encourage women to continue playing the sport, especially in the competitive settings. Also helping all women's clubs and events, so not necessarily within our own series, we also provide sponsorships to a lot of the women's events in our area. And recognizing all the hard work, our tournament directors are working so hard right now, creating their events, thinking of ways to make them special for all these ladies that come out and support these courses and events. It's just like, if you've been to our events, you know it's so fun and it's just like indescribable sometimes. So like we mentioned, we had 223 women, different women, all play in our series this year. That was probably a record number. And 41 FPO players. Oh wait, no, that one's me too. So our community, the sport, and what we do
do is all about the community and making women feel supported, generating that space for the women. So we have so many leagues that we do, and they're all super fun. Putting League is Wednesday nights at the schoolyard in West Boylston, and such a fun time. That's also sponsored by
Christopher Group Realty and Disc Golf 970, and there's other putting leagues in the area that also hold women's divisions.
And support other, women at their putting leagues as well.
Also Winter League, you can find that on Facebook. Women's Wednesdays at Maple Hill, that's a highlight of our week every week. And then nudity nights at local leagues, so sometimes we'll go in and do a little takeover. We also had the bag tags last year, 110 sold, pretty amazing. We also ran out of tags, so we had to make new ones because people wanted them. Having a variety of events, so the tournament series will now be a point series, so that's something new for this year. Also running unsanctioned events for people who are just starting out, or maybe they just aren't into the sanctioned thing. And then non-disc golf socials, so little field trips that we do with our people, but branching out to a different kind of space.
And along with the league, so we do this Women Wednesdays where a lot of pay-to-play courses will offer free rounds for women on Wednesdays. But one of our friends over at Mile Marker 63, they said they don't want to compete with the other local courses, so they decided to do Female Fridays. So thank you, and offering another night a week where women can go out and play and not have to worry about that.
All right, so Liz mentioned that we're doing a New DG Winter League. So my favorite part about disc golf is just kind of hanging out and having fun, not necessarily the tournaments. So this year we spun this up starting in October through March. Every month we pick 2 courses. One is sort of the Worcester County area, and one is farther out from Worcester, since we're sort of Worcester based. You can play the course as many times as you want throughout the month for $10, as long as you're with another lady. And then your best score counts towards payouts. So it's sort of an easy way to get into the sport. And then for every course, the 2 courses that we pick, we do one meetup. So we're halfway through the season, just about. We have a meetup on Wednesday, hosted by Mary Francis. And then we have that's at Crane. And then Saturday will be 501, I think. If you came to our booth and got the little QR codes, they're all there. So it's our winter league.
It's been really
successful in getting, so in addition to the really popular New England Team Challenge in the winter, it's a really great way for women to just be with other women and support each other in these conditions. And it's not always easy to get out there in the winter, but just being together really makes the cold months go by a little faster and a little more fun.
And I said it was $10. If you want to just come and play for free, that's always fine. If you want to pay in $10, then you're in group payouts. Okay, so this year, this is our new DG goals. So this is something this is new this year, big announcement for the Expo. We are turning our Queen of the Northeast series into a point series. This is just for our women's events. This is sort of like, what does it mean to play the Queen of the Northeast series? This kind of makes it feel kind of cohesive and goes with that community building. So for most of the 2-round C tiers, it'll be 2 points for showing up, and then 2 points for everyone you beat in your division. For a 1 round, it'll be 1 point, and then 1 point for everyone you beat. And then we have 2 double, we're calling it quad point events. So 4 points for showing up, 4 points for everyone you beat. That's our B tier, which is Athena's Owls on May 18th. And our finale at Crooked Birch on October 11th. So yeah, so come, play our point series. And then we'll do payouts at the end. We're our top 50%.
All right, so another big goal this year is to become a 501c3 nonprofit. This is a big undertaking. It seems so easy every time we open up the list to do it. We're like, oh, it's not that bad. Then we dig in and we're like, no. Anyway, So we want to establish UDG as a 501c3 in 2025. Basically, it's going to enable us to fundraise more effectively to grow the club, and it allows us to reach out to businesses outside of disc golf, and they can donate to us and get the tax credit, so we're officially official. It'll help permanently establish us as an entity within the business community and not just the disc golf community. And it'll also give us access to grant applications. So more funding, the more we can do for our community. So this is just one big step to make it even more official.
So our last goal, we submitted a bid recently to host the 2027 U.S. Women's Disc Golf Championship, which is a major. The last major that was held at Sabatis in Maine was in 2016, and we would really love to bring it. We just feel like with all the wonderful new courses that we've had pop up in our area, we feel like we're able to support this effort. The courses would include Mile Marker 63, Meadowbrook Orchards, Oakham, 501, and Maple Hill. And we recently received feedback due to a low number of bids. The PDGA actually said they were going to reopen applications in the fall. So we are going to work on our bid and resubmit, and hopefully it'll work out. If not, now we have the experience of writing a bid, and we'll try again for the future. But this is something that we definitely want to bring to our area to service, bring a major to the women of the Northeast, especially since we've grown so much in 11 years since the last one. In Maine at Sabatis, that was the most women I have seen in one place playing disc golf, and it was below 100. And since then, that tournament in particular has grown to host over 300. So it will be really great for the area of central Massachusetts to bring more folks in, and also for disc golf, women's disc golf. And we're also seeking volunteers. So if anybody is here and willing to volunteer, whether it's in security or spectators, we're looking for folks that would be willing to help out with. The more volunteers we can get, the better.
We're not even sure where we're gonna need volunteers, but we have folks who do know that, because we'll have folks on our team who have done the volunteer coordinating at MVP Open and some of the bigger events, so we're gonna certainly pick their brains. But if anyone here put the word out, we need all the details we can get, so the more detailed we can be, and the yes, we're committed, put me to work, do this, I'll do whatever, we will happily accept, because again, we can't do any of this like this. So.
Also says if we're granted the bid, but let's be real, it's when we're granted the bid. All right, I think that wraps everything up. So let us know what questions you guys have. We're here.
Do you have to be a woman in Massachusetts to do it, or
To volunteer?
Yeah.
No. Tell everyone, however you identify, you are welcome to support us for U.S. Women. Yeah, we talked with Mike Schwartz, who does the volunteer coordinating. Oh, he's back there, hey bud! We already talked to him, so he has graciously volunteered to help us with volunteering stuff for U.S. Women. So we're definitely going to pick on his expertise. So yes, we are very willing. We want to tap into brains who have done this, who are smarter than us in this, who will think of things that we have not even come to our brains. So really want to make this a community effort, for sure.
We want folks to travel from across the country to see our beautiful local Northeast courses. So whatever.
And see our community.
And to see our community and how passionate we are about creating a space for women that is safe and empowering. So let's get them all here. Question?
I saw you had a health and safety officer position open. I was just wondering if there are any details about that.
Write us an email. Are you interested in applying?
Thank you.
Yeah, so for our state reps and our officers, we have health and wellness officer who historically has been, it's been our position that's changed because we've had a couple different people in it. Someone was in it and kind of led some group stretching before tournaments that they were at, which was really cool. That was 1 year, and then, trying to post some, similar to what I did with the Mental Game Mondays, kind of post stuff like a Wellness Wednesdays and like post about, whether it's
stretching, recovering, like treating our bodies in a way that keeps us ready for tournament competition, because I don't think a lot of people keep that in mind. Like, I don't stretch enough, to be completely honest, and we should. It just keeps our bodies competition ready. So we wanted to bring that awareness to our content. So that's kind of the position that we have open right now.
Yeah, so if someone, so if a lady in the area has knowledge on that and wants to share it and be part of that, send us an email, slide into our DMs, and we'll talk.
Yes.
Yes.
So I don't have a question, it's more of a comment, but I am currently living in Florida, but me and my husband will be moving back to Massachusetts at some point this year. Very excited. And I just wanted to say thank you guys for all that you've done, because I have a community in Florida of women, and it was like looking into it up here, I was like, oh gosh, there aren't going to be a lot of women that I have to play with, and just like all that you've done, and like this is so exciting to me because I'm going to have a community of women up here that I'll be able to play disc golf with, so just thank you for everything you guys have done.
A bunch of new best friends you haven't met yet.
Yeah, we're so excited to have you.
And my colors are also purple and green, so.
Yeah.
Let's go.
It was.
Des running.
Yes, I apologize. I came in late. You might have covered this. But how do you actively recruit women, and how do you make your presence known to new women?
I would give a lot of credit to our focus on growing the casual side of the community this year, and a lot of that focus has been Liz with our winter league and tags. I think a lot of people who come to our casual leagues, we talk to them about our events, and we kind of encourage them to show up and be like, it's actually not that big of a deal, it's just a day of fun with women, and we record scores. So I think a lot of that has come from our focus on the casual side of the community.
And you do those casuals, do you do it once a week or is it once a month?
The winter league is monthly.
Excellent.
A flex league, and we do one meetup we do 2 courses a month, one meetup at each course. So we'll host a meetup at that course. And putting league, we have a Wednesday night putting league every week. And then in the summers, we do Women's Wednesdays at Maple Hill. Very casual, we don't even keep score, we just go out and play.
What time is it?
5:30. It's
Well, it
usually
changes
5:30.
due, like, yeah, depending on how much daylight we have, we'll usually start around 4:45, and then
A couple of weeks later, it'll be 5, and we always make 3 tee times, so depending on when you can get there, even if you can't get there, you can just walk down the road to hole 6 and meet whatever group is there. Sometimes we'll play doubles, triples, we play wolf a lot, if we have an odd number, so the format's always different, and we kind of just read the room when we get there and see what people want to do, and it's really just casual.
And we just chat everybody up about our events and try to make them come. Yeah.
they're a lot of fun.
I also think a big part of building the community is just seeing other women on the course. Like, I had no idea when I first played, like, that there were other women that played disc golf, and I literally went to a course, there was a lady there, she's like, oh, you should join this, and then through that, it's a catalyst to every other source, like everything, people. And so a lot of our recruitment is honestly word of mouth through like just being at courses, being a presence, spreading the word however we can. So I've been like maybe a little creepy, but I'll go up to somebody and be like, hey, are you on our Facebook? Are you on our Instagram? Anything. And honestly, I think just being approached by another like lady, female, whatever, is just, it's comforting. It's nice seeing that kind of community.
And then the last thing is we have our own stuff that we just talked about, but we also use our social media to promote other women's events or other big tournaments that have a big women's field. So we don't, it doesn't just have to be our stuff. Go play. There's a huge club in Connecticut. There's tons in Maine, and there's I think there's a Connecticut Women's Championships, a big tournament that's not ours, but we want to go play. So doing that kind of stuff.
Is there anything in New Hampshire?
There is a women's, what is it, New Hampshire?
New Hampshire Women's Disc Golf Championship at Beauty Hill.
I have a question on that end too. When you run your events, do you make multiple tees for your different divisions? Excellent.
Yes.
That's what we do for our wildflower. And then one tip for you guys, so we had success with our wildflower, and you might be able to tap into this. I'm not sure if it's still a program, but the PDJ did grant us 1-year memberships for new players that didn't have it. So I would suggest going to Vic from the PDJ membership and telling them that they did it for Wildflower, and maybe they will do it for you. And we were able to give out, I think, roughly about 10 to 15 new memberships to non-members.
Oh, wow.
And we had a great return. About 12 of those came back.
That's amazing.
And we also encourage our TDs to use the competition endowment program.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just another comment too. So I started playing tournaments last year, and I was terrified to go to my first tournament. But I have met so many women who've never had a round that was like a round that didn't feel good with the women that we played with. So I really appreciate that you have done this. And for people who are in southern New England or Connecticut, it's Disc Golf Zen with Sherry. And if you look at the bottom picture, she's the person in front. So she runs a lot of women's tournaments and a lot of masters tournaments.
And juniors too.
And a lot of casual events too.
Yeah, play Sherry's event. We sponsor her events. Yes.
Keeps going for an hour. What's your drive to push forward besides the U.S. championship? This. Okay. When did you guys? When were you founded? I missed that part.
In 2014.
Thank you. I needed that for my notes.
I'm the co-founder, and I started walking around Maple Hill in the early 2000s, and there were no other women. I was hanging out with my guy friends from high school, and as an athlete, I was looking at the guys. I can't do what they do. I'll just walk around. It's really pretty out here. In 2011, it wasn't until 2011 I threw my first disc, and I was starting to go to tournaments, and there were very few women around. I played the inaugural Women's Global event, which was tacked on to a men's event, the Tully Open, and that was the first time I saw really a group of women out playing, and I said, this needs to keep happening. The way that I felt being around other women in this space was like nothing. Like it was the closest thing to playing a team sport or playing an individual sport. Just feeling the support from women who had been there before me gave me the drive to want to continue to grow it. So we established Northeast Women's in 2014, tried to do a women's series in 16 and 17, there just wasn't enough yet. And the COVID boom was really big with getting it going.
But I will say, one of my first years in 2016, I played the Women's Global that year. And that event was like the catalyst for me to be in this sport. And then I don't remember COVID summer, I think we were kind of reminiscing on that stuff and thinking about reinvigorating the organization, and that's kind of where this was born. The bigger, the better, and I think we keep chasing that feeling of those events. It never gets old.
Yeah.
Great work.
Thank you. That's the good question too.
If you think of it, let us know.
Yes.
Any more questions?
What do you do to help the juniors connect more? That's been like my daughter's been participating in Owls tournament the last couple of years, but it's hard to get find others that are at her age.
Well, one of our goals is to continue building that education piece. So my day job is I'm an elementary physical educator. So I'm trying to get more disc golf into schools and make it available. So one thing I heard, I don't remember who told us this, somebody was putting discs in their local library for families to check out. Yeah, somebody from New York. Cat Bemis. So an initiative that we would like to start is to put like starter packs in local libraries for families to check out in return, much like library books.
One of my close friends is a librarian in Framingham, so.
Awesome.
And I've heard that in a bunch of different states too. That's a success.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I know it along, yeah, or you want it as a TV?
So every event in the women's series is juniors friendly. I know sometimes there's not a lot of people registered. I think if you want to see more people, you also have to actively participate. So if someone sees you registered, maybe that'll be what they need to also get on there. But we love seeing the kids at the tournaments. We shower them with love, and they usually get an awesome players pack because we're just so excited when someone young wants to start this too. So you have our support. We want you here. And tell your friends about disc golf. Make them fall in love with it like you do.
And the other thing for juniors, so there's two things we're doing that we should have put on the slide. For first-time tournament players, you get an extra player pack item from UDG, and then also for juniors. Juniors get an extra player pack item as well. And then, did you say shorter tees?
No.
Well, you had mentioned, Des had mentioned shorter tees, but every tournament, I think, has a shorter tee option.
And a lot of them offer 1 round.
And then the other thing, 1 round, I think you get a choice. You can do
Yeah,
1
you
or
could
2.
do, juniors could do 1 or 2 rounds.
Yeah.
I was just thinking too, because I know this is one of Juju's kind of infamous lines of like, build it and they will come, and sometimes it just takes kind of being that first person to be like, okay, like if I'm gonna be like one of 2 juniors here today, like, cool, if I keep doing this, other people, you know, to that point, if someone sees it on there, it's like, okay, then we might get our 3rd, then we might get our 4th, right? And it just, and again, the women's tour thing that Jude started, that was one of my first tournaments in 2016, and I think there were 20 women, maybe, which is at Devon's. At Devon's, it was like a women's tournament at Devon's. There was like 20 women. It was great, and a lot of people would look at that and be like, "It didn't sell out. That wasn't successful," or you know, like right. It's kind of measuring like what is success in that mean, right? And it's like that. Okay, like it's a building block. It's not that we're not going to come out of the gate, and it would have been easy to be like, "Oh well, we're not going to do this again," right? And if that was the case, none of this would be here. So it's that like.
Right, we started there at 20 woman field, and now we average probably 50 at least, and a lot of the events sell out now, all women, which is amazing.
That's
To go with juniors, are your tournaments 1 round or 2 rounds? How do you structure it up?
Depends on the event. We let the TD
Okay.
decide. So,
All right.
so TD comes like we put out an application, like a Google form application, and it's like, hey, what's your vision for your event? Some folks are like, we've had folks do 1 rounders, do lunch, and then do like a doubles hangout in the afternoon. I know Becca's or clinic. Becca's doing that for one of our events this year. We've had folks do the 2 round.
Okay, so in Texas
Most
we
of
had
the time
success when we were running the Texas Women's Championship, and it was back in the day where you played 2 rounds was standard for the day. And the way we solved the juniors, and then they didn't have to have the PDGA, is we put them into lunch. And we made that little short little 9-hole, and then us women could actually go and give them a gallery. And we really get a lot of women, and those girls now are players because they didn't have that real pressure. They could just play 9. It was really kind of like an introduction of play. And so if you do have a 2 round, you might want to think of like sliding that in for that lunch hour. It really, we had some good success with it.
We love that. That's amazing.
That's a great idea.
Thank you.
We're gonna
Yes.
steal it.
You're welcome.
We're gonna steal it.
That's how we all build it, right? We're all
Exactly.
women builders.
So not so much a question, but a comment. My husband and my kids have been playing for several years, and I always went along just because, oh, it's pretty. And I never saw any girls play or anything, and then I was like, oh, fine, I'm going to start playing. So I started playing. I did my first tournament last year, and I think I've done one other one, but it was a women's tournament. It was at Oklahoma. That was my very first tournament.
I remember you.
Yep. Yep. I wore the Disney, my Disney hat and everything. It was the first tournament I had ever done. I was in the lowest division. I had so much fun. All of the women were super welcoming. Everyone was super welcoming. And I was nervous as all heck going into it because I was like, I don't play well. I go like plus 26 every time. I know I'm not going to play well. I got like plus 16, I think, at the end of the tournament. I was so happy. It was so much fun. Everyone was super welcome. But unfortunately, last year I just wasn't able to make any of the other tournaments. But I'm super excited to do it this year because I was already looking at it like, oh, I know I could for sure do 4 of them. So I just want to thank you guys because you guys are always super welcoming.
Awesome. I referenced this yesterday. Our goal at the events is to like channel drunk girl in the bathroom energy. Like if you know, like where it's like, honey, like where you like become the best friends with the person, you follow them on Instagram, and then you're like, who is this random stranger I follow on the internet now? But like but like we're not strangers, and we might be drunk, but it's fine too. But like, but like that kind of like camaraderie and that energy is really what we strive for. So like to hear stories like that of like. That's the goal. That's the goal. Like numbers are one thing. U.S. women's, yes, obviously, nonprofit status and whatever. Yes, like all of that is important to us. But the most important is them, and the fact that we like hearing those stories and like hearing that, like that's what like.
That's what keeps the drive.
Yeah, like how can we continue that energy? How can we continue that momentum? And that's why we, the players' parties and nudity karaoke and like player experience, right? Like that's the most important to us. So appreciate
you can be yourself and no one judges you.
Yes, exactly.
I know. I found out. I'm the wild, crazy space around everywhere. And you guys love me for it. Thank you.
Creating the safe space for women to be their authentic selves is key, and that's where I think we all find happiness, right? When you don't have to mask, and this is a community where you can really be yourself.
Remember that when you did retool the slushy shake? That was it's on video. We can find it.
Can I just add one more thing?
Please.
To what you just said. So I've been playing for a long time, and my 2 sons are now in their 30s, and so the fact that you're playing is actually really good because that now you can actually do something with your family that's a lifetime.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you, there's a couple men that have come up to me over the years and been playing tournaments and stuff and said, I wish my wife, girlfriend, whatever, partner would play because I want them to be able to do it with me, And even if you go do your girl thing.
I did like 2 other tournaments, they were both with my husband. So.
No, but it's casually, just casually.
Yes.
Just, it's something that like a family can do together.
Oh, yes.
And, we travel, we play. It's just something that you now have in common with your family.
Yeah.
And so it's actually for a lot of men, it's a bonus.
Yeah.
So good for you.
And that's why our visibility, obviously we're a women's organization, but our visibility to everyone is so important. So please tell your friends about us and share our things because we want to reach as many as we can and encourage and support. Now we do karaoke.
I was going to say 15 minutes. Who's up? What song?
One of our Connecticut state reps.
Toby right here. I just wanted to close this out to be this is my first year as a rep. The way that we foster our community is we really focus on acceptance and support. The air during a nudity tournament is just different. I can't really describe it, but you go to any other tournament, mixed divisions, whatever, you'll hear somebody cheering and you're like, oh, somebody probably aced, that's so cool. At one of the nudity tournaments, it's like every hole. Somebody's cheering. And you're like, oh my gosh, was that an ace? Was that a good putt? Was that a good upshot? Was that a drive? So it's just so nice to be at these events because we all support each other. We all root for each other. We want good disc golf, whatever that looks like to you. So just having that kind of environment, having that kind of attitude, it's really drawing a lot of people in, but also keeping us. I would probably not have continued if my first event wasn't the nudity at me. Being there, seeing other people playing, other women playing, and then just having fun at a tournament. Competition is cool and all, but having fun is even better. And at these events, you have both. It's so cool. Anyways, who's gonna sing first? Oh, no, I'm MC.
I love you guys.
Thank you.